Why am I liking this so much? It's either between the Steam Deck and this. The ROG Ally. ROG, Republic of Gamers. Um, I have high expectations for the ROG. The main reason is it's the company is called Republic of Gamers, um, which means it's gaming focused. They have made a lot of gaming phones. So let's see if the alternative to the Steam Deck is worth buying. Yes, I said Steam Deck because that's the main competitor, but let's find out. Should you buy the ROG Ally in 2024? Let's continue.
Absolute beast. Now, unlike some of the others out there that only allow you to stream your games, this will let you download and play them offline. That includes PC games from the Steam and Epic stores, as well as the Xbox Game Pass library. On top,
this is a game changer. This is a lot closer to the Steam experience than the Legion experience. So on the Legion, you're more of accessing Steam through Windows, but here you are saying that you are basically able to download the games onto your ROG, handheld, so you can play them maybe offline, but also in a better way, and also have access to the Xbox side of things. So far, I can see why this already is I think a better competitor to the Steam Deck than the Legion itself. But okay, let's continue.
okay, so here's the box that it comes in, which is nice and simple with a little ROG branding. But let's get this opened up and see what we get inside. There's the Ally itself, which is a lot lighter and bigger than I was expecting, but more on that later. Then we have a warranty card as well as a quick start guide to get you up and running. And here's a 65 watt power brick that has a USB-C connector on one end and a plug on the other. And that's it, that's everything that we get.
So it having USB-C is a good thing because it has to be at this point. This power brick looks like 90 watts. The reason I'm saying that is to have this element, it can't be the basic like 30 watts. You can use a normal wall charger for that. To get to the 90 watts, you either need like where is my plug? I always need it. Anyway, I can't find my OnePlus plug. But to get 90 watts, you often need to use this or a little bit higher. That means that you can charge the device at a higher speed because it's pulling in more power. So this looks very, very good so
inside
far.
the box. So straight out of the box and first impression.
Another thing, if I was going to get this, I would not buy the white version. I know that ROG like to make white units, so that is white ROG phones, and obviously the ROG Ally is also white. But if there's a black version, I would go for that because white over time will not grade the best.
I really like this. The colour theme looks nice and the positioning of the controls and buttons feel well placed. I also like the pop of colour that we're getting from the A, B, X and Y buttons, which have a nice glossy finish to them. Now photos and videos might not do this justice, but this is big. I put the measurements on screen now, but just for size reference, here it is compared to something like an iPhone 14 Pro, a 14 Pro Max, and a Switch OLED console. So you can see it makes the Switch look...
Yeah, so this looks heavier than the Switch. The displays look pretty close actually. The bezel on the OLED is smaller, which means that the display is bigger. So here the bezels are a lot bigger, but it's not really a big deal, I would prefer it to have the screen go to the edges a little bit, maybe on a newer ROG Ally. They might make the screen a bit better, like an OLED version like Switch did. But yeah, this is it's a completely different console. So they have copied the ABXY. They have just flipped them. So see how here it's saying AB, here it's saying BA. Instead of saying YX, it's saying XY here. It's the same configuration, same buttons here. So they've literally copied the Switch layout. The only thing that I would say that this is missing is that on the Legion, and also on the Steam Deck is like a little box here for touch controls. Um, that would improve the way you play games because some games need touch control to, I guess, be like a mouse. Yes, you can use these Joy-Cons to make it work, but that would be a nice addition to make that work. But yeah, literally it's copied the exact same layout. Yes, in terms of the buttons, this is more of like a Xbox type of layout here. This little pad, this doesn't have the pad on it, but I won't lie, because the finger placement means that it will feel good in the hand. So far so good. Let's continue.
So much slimmer. It weighs just over 600 grams, which is more than any of the other items that I've just shown. But you know what? It doesn't feel heavy. It actually feels really well balanced in my hands. It's not top or bottom heavy, although it's not something you'd probably want to use one-handed. Looking around, there are a few ROG logos, including one on the front, on the palm rest, and even on the corners just here. There's also a vent on the rear that's cut out in the shape of the ROG.
Yeah, this is classic ROG. ROG really love to, put their brand in. To be fair, ASUS is a massive company. It's mainly focusing on the PC side of things, the laptop side of things. So the gaming side is the area that they're growing in. It's not the majority of what they do. So, and they have these toggle buttons. I don't think the Switch has these buttons on the back. I don't think the Steam Deck or the Legion have these buttons on it. This might be a little bit better because on the top it does have two buttons. So games like FIFA or Black Ops, like this might be a little bit better because you have more controls on the actual device.
Logo. And this silver line in the middle, at first I thought it was an LED strip, but it's actually a holographic strip that changes colour depending on how you hold it. So overall, I don't mind the white design. I think it looks clean and fresh, but I imagine D-Brand will probably bring us some skins just like we saw with the Steam Deck.
Yep.
So on this we get a 7-inch touchscreen display, which is capable...
I am not sponsored by D-Brand, but I do have a D-Brand skin. See this? This is a D-Brand skin on my OnePlus device. So D-Brand, if you ever want to sponsor me, let me know. I am more than happy.
of up to 120Hz at 1080p, and on a screen this size, 1080p looks incredible. In fact, looking around at the text and the images on screen...
So for gaming units, I keep pausing a lot, but it's I want to talk to you guys. But for gaming units, having a 1080 display is a good thing. Trying to go to 1440p or even higher than that, that's 2K, 4K, is actually a downside, especially at that close up. There's a benefit to going to OLED, but the power you use is inverse to the quality you need. So having a 1080p display, it means that burn-in doesn't happen as much because it's not OLED. B, you don't need to use much power to run those pixels because it's less pixels on there. And C, cost is down, which means you can pass the cost on to the buyer. So on these units, if they say 1080p, for me it's a positive, it's not a negative. Let's continue.
It is super sharp and there's no ghosting or clarity issues at all. And having used this for the last week, I honestly feel that this is the perfect screen size for a handheld. Sure, it would have been great to have seen an OLED screen, as that would have improved the overall picture quality and viewing angles, but most of the time you're playing straight on, so viewing angles aren't really going to be a huge issue. As for the brightness, well, this maxes out at 500 nits, which is decent, so viewing it and playing indoors or outside on a cloudy day is fine. In direct sunlight you'll struggle, but that's going to be the same.
Yeah, but who's taking a handheld outside? Like, if you're outside, you're doing stuff, really. This is more indoors, so it's not really a bad thing. And 500 nits is very good for a device.
With any glossy screen. And as for the reflection handling, well, it's brilliant. The screen is glossy, but it has a very dark tint, which helps with reducing those reflections. Here it is compared to the OLED Switch console, and you can see just how good it looks. And from the games that I've played so far, they all run really smoothly. I know most games won't take advantage of the full 120 frames per second, but playing games like Spider-Man Miles Morales instantly show me how capable the screen is. Plus it supports a VRR, or the variable refresh rate, so you're getting the best frame rate from each game that supports it. That means no stuttering or screen tearing, which is a huge.
So I think when I was looking at the Steam Deck, you were able, not Steam Deck actually, looking at the Legion, you are able to control how much RAM you want to use, so you can max out the RAM at the get go. So on that unit, the Legion, you can decide at the get that everything will play at 12 gigs of RAM. In this, it also had the ability to, automatically change. But in this, it's saying that you can basically have the same controls, basically, where you can either pick the RAM you want, 8 gigs, 16 gigs, whatever, or it can be automatic. So they're all very similar, actually, which is a good thing. It means that the good things of each console is what is the common thread throughout.
Advantage of this device over some of the others. As for the controls, we've got the asymmetrical thumbstick layout, which we've seen across almost every controller other than PlayStation.
It's
got
better.
a nice grippy texture to the top, and the positioning is great. And around those, you'll notice there's a tiny little LED ring. Well, this can be customized to pulsate, flash, or show a solid color. On some supported games, you can also sync this to what's on screen, or you can turn them off completely if you don't like them. The A, B, X and Y buttons, as mentioned, are glossy and are a good size. And the D-pad on the left feels firm and has no hard clicks to it. Then across the top we have the left and right.
Yeah, I like these. Like, they look good. In terms of gameplay, they look big enough to not accidentally press the wrong button. So, why am I liking this so much? I don't know. I've looked at at other units, and so far it's either between the Steam Deck and this, and so far, I'm sorry, like, the Steam Deck is designed better for those games, but the ROG Ally looks like it's designed with slightly better hardware. If it had the software of the Steam Deck, maybe it'd be better. But anyway, let's
bumpers
continue.
and triggers, which could be the best that I've felt so far on a handheld, and that's in terms of the size and the positioning. These can also be adjusted in the settings to reduce or increase the sensitivity. We then have the power button, which also doubles up as a fingerprint reader for logging in, a couple of LEDs for the battery and the power status. Next to that we have the volume buttons, a USB-C port which also supports DisplayPort 1.4, and this can be used to charge and send.
One thing that I think would be useful is to have two USB-C ports. That way you could charge it. Oh, actually, I think you can charge it and also use it as a output as well. But having two means that you are able to, if one breaks over time, because having one USB port means that eventually one could break. But let's continue.
A picture to an external monitor, but I will show more on that later. There's a micro SD card slot, so although it comes with a 512GB of internal storage, you can expand this. And finally, we've got the...
Yeah, that's something that interests me. So 0.5 terabyte sounds like a lot, but it's not. When you start getting bigger and bigger games, that can easily go, and games need to be saved as well. So being able to extend it, and also because it's basically a PC, it can allow you to transfer data easier to this. So if you want to use it like a PC and transfer data through a memory, that SD card, you could do that. I don't know the max amount. Maybe it might be another terabyte, 2 terabyte. You can add on top of that. But so far, here's the question. Should you guys buy this? My answer is yes. If it's between all the other handhelds right now in terms of Steam, I would say Steam Deck, I'm sorry, is number one. But in terms of an alternative, this has better benefits. The Legion has the ability to remove the sides, but this has better fill-in toggles, more control, looks better, feels better, it has better buttons. This is a better unit. So yeah, what do you guys think? Should you guys buy it? I think so. I think if I had the money to, or if ROG ASUS want to send me one, I would take it. DM me. We'll have a chat. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Peace.